Hi guys and welcome to my channel Happy Dish. Today I will make an amazing dessert with coffee, so please keep watching. For the base of the cake, for the crust, I will need 8 egg whites, 5 yolks, 220 grams of walnuts, 100 grams of sugar, a pinch of salt, and 3 packs of instant coffee. Each pack has 1.8 grams of coffee. And if you like to serve this cake to kids, replace the coffee with cocoa powder. And first I will ground the walnuts, and I will use my food processor, but if you don't have, you can use a rolling pin and just crush the walnuts until fine crumbs form. But using a food processor is much quicker. And this is how the crushed walnuts look like. Now add a pinch of salt over the egg whites, and I have them in a large bowl, and I will mix until stiff peaks form, and I will add the sugar gradually. It is time now to add the egg yolks and continue mixing. Add into the egg mixture the instant coffee and mix very well until incorporate. And now add the crushed walnuts and mix with a spatula. And in the meantime, I preheated the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, and I will bake this crust for 15 minutes. Mix very well the walnuts into the egg mixture. Pour now the batter into the tray lined with baking paper, and my tray has 33 centimeter to 33 centimeter, so it's a rectangular tray. And pour the mixture and level it well with a spatula. And bake this cake in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. But after baking, don't remove it from the oven. Let it sit in the oven with the heat off for 15 more minutes. For the frosting, I will need 250 grams of butter, 200 grams of sugar, 3 egg yolks, 100 grams of chocolate, and 100 ml of fresh coffee sifted so that doesn't have coffee grounds. In a saucepan, pour the coffee and the sugar, and let it boil until thickens and will have the consistency of honey. Take the coffee syrup from the stove, and while it's still hot, add the egg yolks and mix very well. In this case, the eggs will cook and will not have raw eggs in our dessert, in our cake. And while the mixture is still hot, add the chocolate, and I will do it now, and it will melt because the syrup is very hot. Sorry, it doesn't show last images, but now you can see better. And stir and let the chocolate melt very well, and let this mixture cool down. Now, in a large bowl, add your butter. It must be at room temperature, and using an electric mixer, mix it very well until it will become fluffy like a foam, and add gradually the coffee mixture. But first mix the butter until it's fluffy, and now add from the coffee mixture 1 tablespoon at a time, and continue mixing. And continue doing this until the coffee mixture is incorporated into the butter. And this is the frosting, very fluffy and very tasty and very easy to prepare. And this is the baked crust. Now it's cooled down. I let it sit after baking in the oven, like I said earlier, with the oven off. But do not remove it. Let it sit and cool down in the oven. Now cut the crust in 3 vertical parts. Each part is 11 centimeters wide. And like my mother says, measure twice and cut once. You see me here measure. And with a very sharp knife do the cutting, and clean the knife after each cutting. And I will use these 3 parts to do 3 layers of my dessert. On a plate, place side down one of the parts, one of the crust, and split in 3 the frosting made earlier, and spread well in a even layer this frosting over the first part of the crust. Now face down another part of the crust and remove the baking paper. It's much easier to remove the baking paper this way. And add another third of the frosting over this part also. And now place the third part of the crust face down and remove the baking paper. And cover the dessert in frosting. Place the dessert in the refrigerator at least 2 hours before serving. And to decorate, you can use coffee beans, cocoa powder, but I melt some white chocolate and do some drawings on the cake. And this was my recipe for today, a coffee dessert, a very tasty and delicious cake that I hope you'll try too. Thanks so much for your visit on my channel, Happy Dish. I hope you will come back for more recipe, and I hope you will subscribe too. Thanks again, and I wish you to be happy. See ya!